Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
As church clerk, I rather enjoy business meetings. Now that may sound a little strange, but in the past 5 years that I've been taking the minutes, we haven't had any uncomfortable business meetings. No one has gotten angry. Disagreements have been few, and those were handled in a very mature way. Most business meetings take about 10 minutes, and everyone seems pretty chill about them. I realize that isn't the case in many churches. Disagreements turn into divisions. I've been in churches that have split and business meetings where people got upset. But God calls us to unity. Romans 12:18 says, "If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men." Psalm 133:1 says, "Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity." And Ephesians 5:21 says, "Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ." In any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, or a church, disagreements will occur. Feelings will get hurt. Toes will get stepped on. So how can we keep unity so that disagreements don't cause division? As I pondered this, God gave me a picture that explained it in my head. One time, my parents drove to Atlanta on I-75, crossing the southern part of the Appalachian Mountains. But they couldn't return home that way and ended up going an hour or two out of their way because of a rock slide closing the whole interstate. Rock slides happen regularly between the border of Kentucky and Knoxville, Tennessee, especially in the springtime. When I lived near there, I found out why. Water actually causes the rock slides. Little rivulets of water get into the cracks of the rocks. While the water is liquid, it just drains away and doesn't usually cause much of a problem. But in the wintertime, it freezes, and the water expands as it turns to ice, widening the cracks. When the spring thaw occurs, sometimes those cracks have become so large that the rock separates from the mountain and rolls down the hill, causing a lot of destruction. This is similar to relationships in the church or in individual lives. As long as we let disagreements or little hurts roll off our shoulders like water off a duck's back, we'll be fine. But it's when we become angry, take offense, dwell on things, or give people the cold shoulder that those disagreements become divisions, widening the cracks. Sometimes we live unhappily with those divisions and think, I'll stay with him or her for the sake of the kids. Or, since this church has such a good youth program, I'll stay, but I'm never going back to that Sunday school class. But when those cracks continue to freeze year after year, usually fueled by our own selfish stubbornness or pride, that rock of the relationship starts to tumble downhill, and the mess it makes is never pretty. Churches split, couples divorce, families divide, everyone taking sides, everyone being hurt, and the glory of the Lord, which is supposed to be shown by us Christians, becomes tarnished. So how do we keep the water of amiable disagreement flowing in our relationships? The answer is love and forgiveness. As 1 Peter 4:8 tells us, above all things, have fervent love for one another, for love will cover a multitude of sins. And Ephesians 4 tells us to actively get rid of bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, and slander, and to be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Do you have any disagreements that threaten to become divisions in your relationships? How can you keep that water flowing?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you can find in the description below. Thank you for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.